They ask him whatever they want, right? And nothing he says can be held against him in that proffer. Nothing. And this is what they call a snitch session. He's taking a deal where he's getting, 10 years in, 6 years on probation. He's already got 7 in.
If you thought the YNW Melly case couldn't get any messier, more chaotic, or more jaw-dropping, then congratulations, you clearly underestimated the universe. Because what just went down in court today makes every true crime documentary look like a children's cartoon. We're talking explosive, unhinged courtroom reality TV energy. YNW Melly didn't just walk into court. He stormed in like a man who just found out his own. Crew leaked new murder footage behind his back. Yes, you heard that right. His affiliates, his own circle, the same guys who were supposed to ride with him. Released video evidence hotter than Florida asphalt in July, and when Melly realized it, the courtroom froze. Lawyers blinked like malfunctioning robots. The judge looked like he wanted to request early retirement. And Melly. Oh, Melly. That man stared down his affiliates with the intensity of someone who just discovered betrayal so deep it deserves its own Netflix limited series. This confrontation. It wasn't calm. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't polite. It was pure emotional combustion. A courtroom showdown so wild it made the Johnny Depp trial look like a yoga retreat. Strap in. What you're about to hear isn't a story. It's a detonation. The moment news broke that YNW Melly had confronted his own affiliates in court, the internet reacted like someone dropped a live grenade into a group chat. People weren't just shocked, they were spiritually rattled. Because betrayal hits different when you're already fighting a double murder case and suddenly your own. People decide to drop new murder footage like their influencers dropping a vlog. It was the kind of plot twist that makes even Hollywood writers whisper, okay. Now that's insane. For months, this case has spiraled through every twist imaginable. But nothing could have prepared anyone for this level of disloyalty. Melly walked into court expecting another routine day of legal gymnastics. But instead, he got ambushed by a cinematic betrayal that deserves its own theme song. The footage, according to leaks, wasn't just vague shadows or blurry shapes. The prosecution usually loves waving around like Halloween props. No, this was allegedly clear, unfiltered, and directly linked to the night everything changed. The courtroom energy shifted instantly. You could practically feel the oxygen leave the room when Melly realized who leaked it. His eyes locked onto the group of affiliates sitting quietly, pretending they didn't just nuke the entire defense strategy. It wasn't anger at first, it was disbelief. The kind of disbelief only a man who trusted the wrong people can feel. And then, slowly, that disbelief hardened into the kind of glare that could cut a judge's gavel in half. This wasn't just a legal twist. This was personal. Because anyone following this case knows Melly's circle has always been a complicated maze of loyalty, fear, and blurred lines. The people closest to him have been questioned, poked, investigated, flipped, and pressured from every direction. But through it all, Melly maintained one thing: his inner circle would never turn on him. That belief shattered today like a glass dropped from a skyscraper. When the footage was played in court, or at least previewed in descriptions, the reactions were nothing short of cinematic. Prosecutors smiled like kids unwrapping a Christmas gift they didn't deserve. Defense attorneys looked like they aged 10 years on the spot. Journalists nearly fell out of their seats trying to record every detail without blinking. But the biggest reaction came from Melly himself. His expression went from confusion to realization, to a rage so heavy it could have powered the courthouse generator, and then the confrontation happened. He didn't need to yell. He didn't need to stand up. All he had to do was stare, a stare that carried years of loyalty. Late-night conversations, shared dreams, and the brutal knife of betrayal. Every courtroom witness said the same thing. Melly's energy changed. Not in a dramatic, over-the-top outburst, but in a cold, controlled shift that screamed, "I know what you did, and I'll never forget it." The affiliates looked terrified. Silent, still. Some wouldn't even make eye contact. Others tried to look confused, as if they didn't understand what was happening. But everyone knew the truth. They released footage because pressure makes weak bonds snap. And nothing snaps bonds harder than a high-profile murder. Trial with cameras watching every move. The footage itself became the internet's new obsession. People demanded leaks, breakdowns, timestamps, freeze frames. Conspiracy theorists claimed the affiliates released it under pressure from prosecutors. Others argued it was intentional, an attempt to distance themselves before the case takes another dark turn. Meanwhile, fans said the footage was being exaggerated and weaponized to destroy Melly's image even further. But no matter what angle you looked at, one thing was clear. His circle wasn't a circle anymore. It was a shattered plate, and the timing couldn't have been worse. The case was already in a fragile state. Earlier hearings were tense enough whispers of mistrial, missing evidence, shaky testimonies, and a legal tug-of-war, pulling the case in every direction. Judges were frustrated. Attorneys were exhausted. Fans were confused. And through it all, Melly maintained that calm, eerie smile he's known for. But today, that smile vanished. The courtroom atmosphere thickened with tension. Every sound echoed louder. Every breath became noticeable. Even the judge looked like he wanted to pause the hearing and meditate. Because everyone knew family drama, friend drama, relationship drama. They're messy. But courtroom betrayal, that's a different beast. Then the whispers started. Journalists rushed to post updates, typing like their careers depended on it. Commentators began dissecting every micro-expression Melly made during the confrontation. TikTok lawyers posted 3-minute legal deep dives using dramatic voice filters. True crime fans treated this like the Super Bowl. The internet was buzzing, burning, boiling, completely unable to look away. But the scandal didn't end with the footage itself. Rumors spread that the affiliates who leaked it were planning to testify either voluntarily or under pressure. That single rumor transformed the internet into a digital riot. Fans speculated Melly knew this moment was coming. Others believed he trusted the wrong people from the start. Some even swore he predicted the betrayal years ago in cryptic lyrics and interviews. Regardless of theory, one thing was undeniable. The footage had consequences. Massive ones. Prosecutors saw it as ammunition. A jackpot. A gift. Something they could spin into a narrative so convincing jurors might not even blink before forming conclusions. They hinted this footage clarified key moments from the night in question, raising more questions than answers and tying timelines together like puzzle pieces snapping into place. The defense, however, reacted like they'd been blindsided by a plot twist no one warned them about. Their job instantly became harder. The narrative shifted. The pressure mounted. And everyone could see the frustration in their faces as they scrambled to strategize in real time. Meanwhile, Melly sat emotionless, not because he didn't care, but because he cared too much. You could tell he was absorbing every detail, every word, every breath from the people who betrayed him. You could practically feel the emotional calculations happening behind his eyes. But the most chilling part, not once did he lash out. Not once did he shout. Not once did he break. Composure, because sometimes silence is louder than rage, especially when the whole world is watching by the end of the first wave of leaks. It was clear the courtroom wasn't just hosting a trial, it was hosting a showdown. Friend versus friend, loyalty versus fear, past versus future. And while everyone was trying to process what just happened, another twist started brewing, a twist involving celebrities, public backlash, and the internet spiraling into full-blown meltdown mode. And trust me, the next chapter makes this one look like a warm dash up. If the courtroom confrontation was an earthquake, the internet meltdown that followed was a full-scale volcanic eruption. The second the news leaked that YNW Melly confronted his own affiliates, social media turned into a battlefield. You had fans, haters, conspiracy theorists, self-appointed detectives, fake lawyers, and bored teenagers all typing like their thumbs were powered by jet fuel. TikTok became the headquarters of chaos, and Twitter looked like the world's messiest barbershop argument happening in real time. And the memes. Oh, the memes were ruthless. One viral photo showed Melly staring like a video game boss unlocked after betraying your teammates. Another had the affiliates labeled loyalty and Melly labeled expectations. Someone even edited Avengers music over a clip of him entering the courtroom, calling it Infinity War, Witness Edition. People weren't just joking, they were doing emotional acrobatics. But as always, celebrities jumped in too. A famous rapper tweeted, "If your OWN crew dropping footage, you've done?" A comedian posted, "Melly really out here fighting two cases, the state and his friends." Even a pop singer commented, "This is worse than the Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber drama. My God." But the real explosion happened when a well-known Atlanta producer claimed this wasn't new behavior. That Melly circle had been shaky for years. According to him, pressure exposes character, which is polite celebrity speak for these guys folded like cheap lawn chairs. Meanwhile, YouTube crime analysts went feral. Entire channels pumped out 30-minute breakdowns, claiming the leaked footage changed everything. Some declared him guilty in the first 3 minutes. Others insisted it actually proved nothing. The comment section became a toxic Olympics of bold claims, shaky theories, and timestamps that made zero sense. Then came the wildcardly rumor that one of Melly's own affiliates didn't just leak footage. He allegedly cut a deal. That rumor spread so fast you'd think it came with free AirPods. Fans freaked out. Haters celebrated. Legal bloggers posted emergency podcasts. Reddit exploded into 50 threads of pure confusion. People discussed the alleged deal like they were trading stocks. And with every minute, the story twisted deeper. But the real chaos hit when insiders said Melly's reaction wasn't just anger, it was hurt. The idea that the same people he fed, protected, and uplifted could now help prosecutors build a stronger case. It shattered the image fans had of the family he always referenced in interviews. Suddenly, those lyrics everyone used to rap proudly began sounding like red flags. Then the prosecution poured gasoline on the fire by hinting this footage filled in gaps from the night of the incident. They didn't say what was on the video, but they let the world know it was significant. That single word ignited internet hysteria. Significant became the new villain of social media. People demanded leaks, screenshots, still images, anything. They wanted clarity. They wanted answers. They wanted drama served on a silver platter. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. A viral blogger claimed the footage wasn't just footage, it also contained audio. That single detail detonated the timeline. Suddenly, everyone had theories. Was he arguing with someone? Was there a confession? Was it staged? Was someone narrating like a murder podcast host? People started acting like they personally held the evidence. Deepfake experts crawled out of caves to give opinions. Lawyers on TikTok started doing reenactments. Even NBA players posted cryptic emojis reacting to the situation. It became a cultural moment like the Super Bowl. If the halftime show was a legal disaster, and in the middle of all this chaos, Melly's affiliates were silent, completely silent. No Instagram lives, no statements, no tweets, nothing. And silence during a public scandal. That's louder than screaming. People began analyzing their social media activity like FBI agents analyzing encrypted messages. One affiliate unfollowed someone boom, conspiracy. Another posted a song lyric boom, new theory. A third post a black screen boom. Emotional meltdown confirmed. But then, out of nowhere, screenshots popped up allegedly showing one affiliate telling a friend, "Bro, I didn't know they'd use it like this." The internet lost a composure. Theories exploded. Some said he was manipulated. Others said he panicked. Some insisted he leaked it intentionally to save himself. Nobody knew the truth, but everyone had a loud opinion. Then, a celebrity podcaster added gasoline to the crisis by suggesting the leaked footage might destroy Melly's allegiance to his day once forever. Fans debated loyalty versus survival. Some said the affiliates had no choice. Others argued they were snakes. It turned social media into a philosophical prison yard. Then came the emotional twist. Court reporters claimed Melly's mother, Jamie Demons, looked devastated when she heard about the confrontation. Fans rallied behind her instantly. Memes turned serious. People started posting prayers. Even those who weren't fans of Melly said betrayal hits different. When you watch a mother dealing with her son's downfall, and just when you thought the scandal had reached maximum insanity, another leak dropped. This time, it wasn't footage. It was messages suggesting the prosecution might already have more evidence they haven't shown. The internet broke. Like, fully broke. People started screaming the case was cursed, rigged, doomed, or turning into the O.J. Simpson documentary sequel nobody ordered. And through all of this, Melly remained calm. To calm, fans posted clips of him smiling in court like he doesn't have a care in the world. That smile fueled even more conspiracy theories. Some said it was confidence. Others said it was delusion. A few claimed he knew something the public didn't. But the most chilling theory, that the confrontation wasn't just anger. It was a warning, and the affiliates knew it. By the end of the day, this wasn't just a court case anymore. It was a soap opera, a Greek tragedy, a social media pandemic, a betrayal story that rivaled the fall of Troy. And yet, this was not the final act. Because the aftermath, the consequences, the public fallout, the emotional damage, that's where things get even darker. The aftermath of the courtroom explosion didn't just shake fans, it reshaped the entire YNW. Melly's story like a plot twist the universe wrote out of pure chaos. Once the confrontation went viral, everyone realized this wasn't just another headline. This was a turning point, a line in the sand, a moment where loyalty evaporated, trust collapsed, and the entire case shifted from complicated to catastrophic. The affiliates who leaked the footage didn't just damage Melly legally, they shattered the emotional backbone of the entire YNW camp. These weren't strangers or distant associates. These were the same people he rapped about, defended publicly, and called family. And now they were sitting on the opposite side of the courtroom, avoiding eye contact like guilty characters in a Reddit true crime thread. Meanwhile, Melly's demeanor changed completely. Gone were the eerie grins and calm posture. He became colder, sharper, focused in a way that made even courtroom officers uneasy. Witnesses claimed he stared at the affiliates like he was analyzing how the betrayal unfolded, like he was replaying every moment he trusted them and asking himself how everything went wrong. It wasn't rage, it was heartbreak that hardened. But the world outside the courtroom reacted even harder. Supporters who once flooded social media with free Melly banners suddenly turned split. Some said the footage might ruin him. Others insisted he was being targeted. And many were furious at the affiliates, calling them sellouts, cowards, and opportunists. The internet instantly rebranded them as the villains of the story. Every move they made was dissected, judged, mocked, and reposted with ruthless captions. And then the bomb dropped. Melly's mother spoke out. Her statement wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was broken, devastated, and full of that heavy parental pain that hits deeper than any trending hashtag. She said she felt betrayed by people who sat at her table, rode in her car, smiled in her face. Fans rallied behind her instantly. Even people who doubted Melly couldn't ignore the emotional weight in her words. The betrayal wasn't just Melly's, it was hers too. But the emotional fallout didn't stop with family. The prosecutors capitalized on the moment, like sharks circling bloody water. They framed the leaked footage as a key turning point. They argued it revealed contradictions. They suggested it weakened the defense. Every press conference, every brief, every leak seemed designed to make Melly look increasingly isolated. The prosecution didn't just get evidence, it gained momentum, and momentum is deadly in a high-profile trial. Defense lawyers scrambled. They tried to reframe the footage. They tried to challenge credibility. They tried to steady the narrative. But the betrayal shook everything. Even jurors noticed the shift. When a man's own circle appears to turn on him, it creates a psychological cloud that no legal argument can fully wipe away. But here's where the story took an even darker turn. Insiders whispered that Melly now trusts no one. Every conversation is guarded. Every motion is calculated. Every glance is strategic. He's not just fighting the state, he's fighting a war within his own camp. And the weight of that isolation began to show. Gone were the confident gestures. Gone were the relaxed expressions. You could see the paranoia forming like a storm cloud at the same time. The affiliates themselves were imploding under public pressure. Some deleted old posts. Others locked their accounts. A few claimed they had nothing to do with the leak, but the internet didn't care. Once the narrative crowned them as traitors, nothing could wash that label away. They became scapegoats, villains, and cautionary tales all at once. Then came the biggest emotional twist. A rumor that Melly confronted one of the affiliates privately after court. The details were vague, whispered, and unconfirmed, but the internet ate them up. The rumor said Melly's voice was calm but cold. That he asked one single question, why? That the affiliate had no answer. And that silence spoke louder than any argument ever could. The emotional damage didn't just impact those in the courtroom, though it spread like wildfire through the hip-hop world. Rappers who once posted support fell silent. Producers hesitated to choose sides. Industry figures started distancing themselves from the mess, not because they knew the truth, but because nobody wants to stand next to a burning building. Yet the fans kept the story alive. They debated guilt. They debated loyalty. They debated whether Melly had been betrayed or exposed. Some swore the affiliates acted out of fear. Others insisted they acted out of desperation. And a few believed they were manipulated into turning against him. Every side had theories. Every theory had conspiracy threads. And every thread spawned more chaos. But the aftermath inside Melly's camp was the most revealing. Once a tight-knit circle, fractured into silence and suspicion. People who were once inseparable now act like strangers. Conversations are whispers. Trust is dead. And that fracture may be the biggest consequence of all. Because when a man facing the fight of his life loses the loyalty of the people he counted on most, he's no longer battling just a legal war. He's battling emotional abandonment. And yet, even in the rubble, one thing remains clear. This isn't the end. The leaked footage changed the direction of the trial. The betrayal changed the direction of Melly's relationships. And the confrontation changed the direction of the entire narrative. But this case, this story, this saga filled with twists, leaks, deals, betrayals, courtroom eruptions, and public chaos. It's nowhere near done, because every time you think the YNW Melly case has reached its breaking point, another twist arrives out of nowhere and shoves it even deeper into madness. And everyone knows it. The next chapter is coming, and it's going to be even darker, even louder, even more unpredictable. This storm isn't over. It's only getting more violent, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the chaos hurricane known as the YNW Melly betrayal saga, a courtroom showdown. So insane, it makes every true crime docuseries look like a sleepy bedtime story. If your pulse hasn't calmed down yet, don't worry. Nobody else's has either. The internet is still hyperventilating, the blogs are still exploding, and Melly's camp is still dealing with betrayal levels usually reserved for Shakespeare tragedies. So before you sprint off to Twitter to drop your amateur detective theories, do me one favor. Smash that like button like it leaked your private group chat. Hit subscribe like you're slamming a courtroom door in slow motion. And ring that notification bell like you caught one of Melly's affiliates sneaking around with a USB drive at 3A.M. Drop your comments below. Who's really at fault? Was this betrayal fear-based, clout-based, or straight snake behavior? Do you think this footage changes the entire case? And which twist shocked you the most in today's meltdown of legal madness? I'm reading everything, trust me, even the delusional comments, because here at Rap Shocker, we don't just cover the story, we break it open. We roast the players. We expose the chaos, and we serve every scandal hotter than a Florida courtroom in July. So stick around, turn on notifications, buckle your seatbelt, because if you think this is the last twist in the Melly saga, oh no. This was just the warm-up act. The next drop is coming, and you know Rap Shocker will be here first to blow the lid off it. Stay tuned, stay shocked, stay locked in.